Okay, so today I'm going to be going over how to create an Instagram story ad in Canva. I did try it in Adobe Spark, which they actually changed the name to Adobe Express. And I have to say, after using Adobe Express for this particular project, I'd have to say Canva is way better for this. There's just so much more you can do with Canva. So I highly recommend using Canva. Even though I gave you the option of using Express, I highly recommend using Canva. That has changed. Things are always changing every year, so they even changed the name, like I said, of Adobe Spark. It's now Adobe Express. But so we're going to be creating this Instagram story ad. I have several different pages which will become slides basically in my Instagram story. So as you can see, I have my headline here. I do have a logo here. I have a subhead. And this could also be considered a call to action all in one because I'm telling them what I want them to do. Vote for your favorite poster design. But vote is technically the headline. This is probably a subhead because it's helping to support the headline, but it's not quite as large. We have a logo. We have animated elements, which is something I want you to add in. And we have brand colors, which I'm pulling from the graphic design logo that I created a couple years ago, which tend to be pretty bright, maybe a little too bright for some folks. Body copy, that's optional, but so mine actually doesn't have any body copy. It doesn't really need it though. Some of yours are not going to need the body copy. And then other interactive elements, I'm going to have a poll in my ad here. So I left a blank space for, voting for this design here or voting for that design here, and I'll have the poll here. So that's why there's this blank space here. So if you've never been in Canva before, go ahead and go to canva.com. You can look up Instagram story. Click on that. This will give you some templates for Instagram story. Starting from blank is totally fine. A lot of these are paid, so you definitely have to go with a free one. I might actually just start from a blank here, but you can actually look through the styles here. There's quite a few styles. You can look at free prices, which is helpful, although it doesn't seem to totally work super well. So yeah, I'm just going to click on a blank one because I know what I want to make. I've already made it. So, so we can start with the background color on this. I'm going to change it to kind of a bright magenta color that I used in the last ad. You can use the slider here to find your image, to find your colors. And then the further up in this corner, you get more intensity in your color, a brighter color. You can make it darker by adding in black. You can make it lighter by adding in white. You can go all the way up in here as totally white. But I want the most intense version of this color, so I'm going to go there. Okay, and next I can go into this elements area here. And there's a lot of different things in here. There's shapes, lines, graphics, photos, videos. Some are free, some you have to pay for. They have charts. They have all sorts of things. Frames for images that you can bring in. But I think what I need is a square. You can also just search for what you're looking for in the search bar and push enter. I just need a square, and I'm going to go with this one here. I'm going to change the color to white, and I'm just going to make it a little wider. Great. And then I'm also going to need a paint splash because that's part of my design that I made here. So I'm going to try and find a free one. I think this is the one I used, so I'm going to go with that one. It's okay to use animated things too. Like I could probably use this, but it doesn't really go with my design. It doesn't have anything to do with voting really, so it doesn't make sense. This could potentially work, but anyway, I'm just going to keep it static for now. There's a lot of options in here, which is kind of cool, and that's why I thought definitely use Canva instead of Adobe Express or whatever it's called now. Maybe someday they'll catch up with Canva, but for now, Canva is still, it's just better, really. So we'll we can actually change the color of this element. So I can size it by dragging. I can rotate it by grabbing this thing and rotating. I can change the color of this element that I have selected here. I can actually add in a custom color by clicking here. I'm going to use a really bright kind of chartreuse color. It's really bright, but I just like bright colors. So I'm going to size it up large enough to kind of take up most of the canvas here, or at least hide that line that I have between my two colors. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now I can add in my text. So we can actually go to the text icon here. I'm just going to use this ready-made text. You can also just add in text this way and change your fonts here, change the size here. You can also just erase this and change the size manually, and then push return to get the size to change. You can change the text color here. You can make it bold, italic, underline, uppercase. You can change the alignment, such as center align, left align, right align. You can make it a list. You can change the letter spacing, the spaces in between the letters. You can change the line spacing, the spacing in between lines if you have multiple lines of text. And you can also add effects. So shadow, background, glitch, there's a bunch of different effects. And you can animate your text too. So I don't really want a heading. I'm just going to use this pre-made text here. Double click on that to highlight it and just put vote in with an exclamation point. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to change the color to white, and then I'm going to make the effect on it possibly a shadow. I can change my shadow here. I can make it darker. And I can change the transparency on the shadow as well. Like maybe I want it 100%. Something like that. And we can rotate it. I'm going to make it kind of at an angle, basically. Okay, so I kind of have that set up. I'm liking it okay. I'd almost like to see it the other way around with the text this color and the shadow white. Let's try that. That's a little better. Okay, and then next up we'll add in some more text below. I'll go ahead and do that. So I've got my text in there and it's looking pretty good. I'm going to change the line spacing, which is the space in between the lines here. It's a little far apart, so I'm going to change that a little bit. I did make it all uppercase because I think it looks better like that. I'm going to drag this down slightly. Here we go. And this background color isn't quite the right pink. I think I need to update it a little bit to be a slightly more purple. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I might actually move these two. I push shift on my keyboard to select multiple elements, and I'm actually going to move this up a little bit, and I might change the size of this slightly. Okay. Maybe rotate it a little bit there. Okay, so I have my first slide looking the way I want it to. Actually, I forgot to bring in the logo that I wanted to bring in. So if we go into uploads here and grab go to upload media, we can upload PNG files and JPEG files. So I just want to show you really quick removebackground.com. It's a really quick, so you can just search for remove background. You can also do this in Photoshop. There's a really quick remove background button, but it's www.remove.bg is the URL, and we can upload images up into here, and then once you find your image, it'll remove the background for you very nicely, and you can push download, and that'll go into your downloads folder, and then you can go into Canva and upload that into Canva. I think there might be a remove background option in here, but I'm not sure if it's free. It may have changed. It might be free now, but I think it might be a paid thing. But you can always use the removebackground.com. So I've done that with this logo. I'm going to bring it in up at the top here, I think. And I'm pushing shift to get multiple things selected. I'm pushing shift on my keyboard and arrowing down with the arrow on my keyboard to position this further down on the canvas. So yeah, I think this is looking good. Now next, if we look at my design on this page, slightly different colors. I actually like the colors on this a little bit better. But I have a page with number 1 on it, a page with number 2 on it. So these are the 2 designs that they are going to choose from. And then the third page will have both of them on it, plus the MSU Northern logo to close it out, and an area for a poll here. So with these other slides, basically, I'll show you how to create a page. So I added another page, and then I added some elements. This is where we can find, you can actually search for Instagram. That's what I did. And they have some numbers here, which actually ended up working out really well for me. And I just sized this down, went into text, grabbed the text that I've been using, put in 1, highlighted that, changed the color here. And then, you know, I needed to change the effect. I don't really want any effect on it. So, and then I brought in the image, the JPEG. I brought that into my uploads of the first design that I wanted them to vote on, and I sized it up. And then I did the same thing, basically the same process. Might have to size this down a little bit. I did the same process with slide number 3. So that's kind of how I did these slides. And then, so let me go ahead and get slide number 3 in here quickly. I'm trying to make this a quick video. Okay, so I've got slide number 3 in here, or page number 3. Similar to page number 1, just features the second design that I want them to look at. I did number the designs. So on the last slide, we just bring in the Northern logo. You can upload that media. You might have to use the remove background site to remove the background quickly, but okay, so there's that. And then I can quickly bring in this. I have to crop it because there's a little white border on the actual JPEG itself, and I don't really want that in there. So you can actually crop things in here and then size them down, which is kind of nice. And then, let's see, let's bring in that other one. I want to put them in the right order too, because this is number 1, it needs to be on the left, or at least it makes more visual sense for it to be on the left anyway. And then number 2 would be on the right. So I'm going to try and keep that consistent. And I want them to be the same size. And I'm using my keyboard on my arrow tool on my keyboard. And I do want some separation between the designs, maybe not a ton, but I do want there to be some separation between the designs. So that might mean that I need to size down a little bit so that there's slightly more, oops, so there's slightly more pink in between these 2 designs. Okay, and I'm going to move them down in the layout here using the shift and arrow down key. I can move it a little faster. And then this area up here is actually where the area where I'm planning on putting my poll. You know, the vote basically in Instagram or Facebook, I believe has it too maybe, but so there we go. There is our design that we designed. And so now we can download this. We can do MP4 video. You can do all pages, but mine actually makes more sense to do page 1, 2, and 3 as an MP4. Oh, and before I do this, let me show you, before we download, we can actually change the animation to like 3 seconds. You can apply this to all the slides. So to get them all the same, I think you can customize the timing of each slide to, like, and you can customize the slide timing by clicking off into the gray here and changing the number for each slide. So yeah, I'll show you how to export this in the next video.